Hey everybody, Kevin from Blue Planet Photo Studio. I've got a big coin shoot in the studio today, so I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see how it is that I shoot coins. The way that I like to shoot coins is with axial lighting. And of course there are many different ways to shoot coins. You can use axial lighting, like what I have, or you can use a ring flash, or you can use very directed mini reflectors, and I'll show you how I do that also, because not all coins can be shot with axial lighting. So let me zoom in here a little bit and show you the setup that I have. So shooting coins, obviously you don't want to tarnish the metal, so a good pair of cloth gloves is very important. And so there you go with that. The second thing is a light blocking kit that I made out of black foam core, which is very important for controlling light hitting the sides. Of course, a gray balancing tool and a tape measure, which you need for the initial setup to make sure your light is the same height as your lens. Dust is your enemy, so you got to have a can of dust off. So as far as the shooting stage, I have two. When I can't use axial lighting, I just have this sheet of white acrylic that I put in the stage. I light it using, just a standard reflective lighting technique, and I'm good to go. So this stage I made out of a sliced piece of acrylic rod with some diffusion material on the bottom. Light actually shines up through that and gives me a nice crisp white, basically a knockout effect. And as far as lighting, I've got the Elechrome Digital 1200 pack feeding into a single head with the large grid attachment going through one sheet of diffusion material. It goes straight across, hits the semi-silvered surface of the mirror, and then goes straight down onto the stage. And for beneath, I've got the Elechrome 500 head with the fiber optic attachment that shoots straight up through the bottom of that acrylic tube, giving the nice white effect that you'll see later. Here's a kind of a better shot of the mirror. That's it's a semi or half silvered mirror, like a two-way mirror. And as far as setting the signer up to do captures, we have to do 3 exposures first. We do our first exposure to check for ambient light. We don't want any, so we take a shot with no lights on, go over to capture 1, take a look at the numbers, and they should be 0. Now we're going to go back and we're going to turn on the 500 so that'll shoot the light up through the acrylic tube to give us our nice bright stage. Take the shot, back to capture 1, and we check our numbers, and we're looking for not quite 255 but pretty close. And again, we're reading those numbers. So back to the camera, we turn on our main light and do another exposure. And I'm shooting at f11. That's a nice sweet spot for this lens, for this kind of work. So we do our shot, back to capture 1. There it is. And we're going to check those numbers one more time. You'll notice that the light came up just a few points. So again, we're looking for very close to 255, but not over. The coin we're shooting is a silver dollar from 1898, and what makes it valuable is the rainbow hue coloration it has. So we have to really shoot this well to capture that. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we do is put our little back light block, and then very carefully put our coin up on our stage. And now we need to dust it off to get the little fibers from the glove and any kind of dust or anything like that off. Now we're going to put our front block on so that the only light hitting this coin is going to be from the mirror going straight down. And we'll do our pop. We go over to capture 1, and boom, there it is. All right, so you just take a look, make sure there's no loose fibers, nothing like that. You're checking the numbers. You're already color balanced, so you're good to go on that. And so the next thing is to crop it. my client requests square crop, so I go ahead and do that in Capture One so that when the file exports to Photoshop, it's already the right size. And it's also the right orientation. All right, so that's done. Now let's go over to Photoshop. So it's popped open in Photoshop, and the first thing I do is go to Levels. I'm going to adjust the shadow side to kind of come up on the edge there of the shoulder, and the highlight side to kind of follow the shape of the shoulder on the highlight side coming down. That big jump you see right there is obviously the white from the acrylic tube. Next thing I need to do is get rid of those corners. So I just do the lasso tool and then hit invert and delete. And there you go. So the final thing is just to save the file, and we're good to go. So I guess that's about it as far as this video. My first kind of behind the scenes video. Hope you guys got something out of it. Hopefully it answered some questions and didn't raise more. But yeah, I mean, you just have to be meticulous. When shooting coins, it's a different kind of product photography because, you know, with when I shoot perfume or models or you know, anything like that, you can enhance the product slightly. I mean, you have to have truth in advertising, but you know, you can bump the color a little bit, or you can clone something out, or you know, some sort of little imperfection. You can't do that at all with coins. Whoever buys this is expecting to get the exact coin that they saw in the pictures. So you can't you know, overdo any kind of enhancement, or even really do any kind of enhancement. You don't want to bump up the saturation. You don't want to bump up the contrast. Make the coin significantly lighter or darker than it actually is. It's you know, it just has to be what it is. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh, yeah, I was going to show you how another way to light coins using mini diffusers, but that'll have to wait till next time because I don't want to set everything up to do it. But yeah, these are little homemade diffusers. I made them out of cups and diffusion material, and they just go on the end of the fiber optic arms and light, you know, whatever it is that I'm shooting. It can be jewelry, it can be coins in blocks. So yeah, so there you have it. So I appreciate you guys watching this video, and cut.